Look, the US are concerned about petrol prices rising too much. The risk for that is maybe more with hurricanes than with OPEC right now. OPEC is not having a particular interest to allow prices to move too high. For two obvious reasons. Developing countries would cry foul, like India, and shale producers would enjoy the benefit. So OPEC wants to keep prices in the 65, 75 range. The White House, as you rightly pointed out before, is having this kind of difficult situation where they want to go, sure, we are moving to energy transition. Supporting too much the oil sector doesn't really pay off. The call was at the point in time when OPEC had a friction, and for a very brief period of time they withheld the increase. Right now, I don't think this is the case. They're firmly on track to, supply the market sufficiently. So I don't see the White House having a similar language like under Trump administration.
Johannes, in light of the decision by OPEC Plus today, and if we piece that together with the events in the United States in recent days and around the Gulf of Mexico, what sort of capacity has been taken out of the market, and what is it going to mean for prices in coming weeks, given Hurricane Ida's impact on production facilities and refineries?
Yeah, I mean, that's very difficult to estimate because, it's a matter of how long are those capacities off. We would argue that probably around 250,000 barrels were taken out on average for August, and we would say less than 100,000 barrels for September. That means we would assume a relatively swift recovery on the upstream sector. Even in the Mexican side, the Pemex outage was resolved within a week. So I don't think this is a major issue, but of course it's always an uncertainty factor. It keeps the market on its toes. In terms of outlook, I think the big question here is now what happens on Iran. What Dan mentioned about the U.S. offering another deal. The question is, what is that going to be good for? Because Iran already is very, very close to have weapon-grade material. The IAEA has made that clear the other day. And at that point, even if you put them back into a deal, once the deal expires, within no time, they again manage to reach weapon-grade material. And you have seen lately a visit of Mr. Bennett, the new Prime Minister of Israel in the U.S., and they agreed on the joint strategy. Well, I'm not sure. We will see what that means, but I'm more concerned about the developments in the Middle East.
Johannes, as you bring in the geopolitics here around Iran, what does it mean for the energy price? Because we've already had a couple of volatile months over summer. What does Iran's potential contribution to the market mean?
Well, initially, I'm more concerned about the military fallout because that's the only way to push back Iran, although it doesn't really help because the know-how they have already. That would mean that the prices have a potential in the next 2 months for a significant spike, because you never know how military confrontation is going to play out. If that is not the case, then of course by the end of the year you may see more barrels coming from Iran. Again, something that OPEC Plus is able to manage. They will allow Iranian barrels to come back because they have no choice anyway, but they will manage the rest of the supply, I would say, reasonably well.
Can I bring up what is moving the price then? Because we've been closely watching both supply and demand dynamics of late, and the forecast from OPEC Plus was that they don't really see demand coming back until the end of 2022 in a strong fashion. That's when some of the forecasts have been adjusted. So what does that mean? Does that mean the supply side is going to be moving the market more than demand in coming months?
Absolutely. OPEC Plus is in control, and they will add as many barrels as the market needs. If they are concerned the demand is not that robust, they will always keep that a little bit on the short side to go sure the prices have no reason to collapse. If you look on the prices, is a good indicator. Most of the products, and particularly crude oil, are still in backwardation. So that's not going to change too much. And from that point of view, I would say the market looks stable as of now.